because it's when you push so hard and you do the most. If you don't slow down, you are going to burn out. So in this video, we're going to be talking all about the power of slowing down. And I think it is very timely, seeing that the world is literally going at ultra speed. Like everything is fastening up. And I don't know if it's just me, but the world is getting faster. Like, I don't know if you notice it with how the days have been, but it is going faster. And I just feel like with technology and everything that's going on right now, we have been encouraged to fasten up, not fasten up like a seatbelt, but to go faster. And I think it's so important, if you don't want to burn out, to do the opposite. So it's very important to be mindful of your speed, be mindful of how fast you're doing things. And a lot of the time, the telltale signs is when you start to make mistakes, is when you start to feel overwhelmed. That is the sign to slow down. I always talk about a story or a time when I was burnt out and I didn't know it. Okay, that's because I really wasn't practicing self-awareness. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't something that I was very mindful of. And I was burnt out. I found myself in a continuous burnout cycle where I was burning out all the time. I was sick, all of these kind of things. And I didn't know it until I started to check in with myself. So that's why I always say one of the first steps for positive change, one of the first steps in your self-care journey is making sure that you check in with yourself, that you have a regular self-awareness practice. And it doesn't matter where you are in this journey, it needs to be part of your day-to-day. You need to be checking in with yourself, and there's loads of ways that you can do that. One, journaling. So making sure that you actually have time to sit down and just check in with yourself, asking yourself how I am, how am I? What do I need? Those are some really, really important questions that you want to regularly ask yourself. Also, making sure that you have quiet time, making sure that you have time for solitude. I think it's super, super important to make sure that you put effort into doing that, especially if your schedule is jam-packed. There is no point of jamming up your schedule. That's what I used to do all the time. I was like, a full schedule means good. I felt like if I was busy, that meant I'm doing great. Yeah, but actually, if you're busy more time, you're burnt out. So you want to be making sure and being very intentional about creating space in your calendar, creating space in your day, and creating space in between different tasks that you have. That is going to be a key to allowing you to have more time for yourself, but also slowing down and not getting to the point of burnout or overwhelm. So I want to share some tips in terms of practical ways that you are going to be able to implement that into your day-to-day. So let's get into it. So what I want you to start doing is every single day is making sure that you have a time to check in with yourself. And you can make sure that this is like a break where you also include your senses, because when we involve or engage our senses, that is one of the easiest and quickest ways for us to be present in the moment, to slow down, and to also relax. So we have 5 senses. So that's our sight, that's our smell, that's our taste, that's our touch, and hearing. So we want to engage those. So if you wanted to have a little bit of a check-in, you could light a candle whilst journaling. You could listen to some relaxing music or a guided meditation to be able to check in with yourself and see what's going on. We want to slow down. We want to quiet the noise from everything that's going on around us. Okay? So I want you to make that a regular thing. Anytime you notice yourself feeling overwhelmed, I want you to pause and stop, take a break, check in, ask yourself what you need, give yourself a little pep talk, and then continue. Okay? And sometimes even just giving yourself 5 or 10 minutes between tasks can make a big difference to do some self-care or do nothing. don't fill that moment with anything. Don't fill your calendar. For example, if you had a cancellation in your calendar, I wouldn't want you to go and fill that with something else. I would want you to use that time for you to do nothing, to do something really slowly, to just have some me time. And I think those are opportunities where you can, where you are gifted a break, so instead of filling it, don't fill it. Slow down and do something for yourself. Have a nice cup of tea or something like that. Go on a walk, sit outside, touch grass, as they like to say, touch grass. The next thing is kind of similar to like what I mentioned before, is making sure that you have a buffer time. So having a buffer rule that you are not going to be no longer doing back-to-back tasks, back-to-back meetings, back-to-back appointments. No. Okay, we want our nervous system to be nice and calm, and the best way to do that is in between tasks, in between meetings, is to make sure that you've got about 10 minutes at least. 10 minutes, 30 minutes is great, where you can take some time to do some deep breathing, do a relaxing activity, do nothing, and then commence with your day or with the things that you've got to do. And I think doing those kind of things really help you to break up your day and also help you to recharge. Okay, so you're not just going. And I think it's really important for you to like be very mindful of the expectations that you have for yourself as well. Like, even if you can get 5 things done, try and just do 1 or 2 things. Okay, a bit by bit is what is going to be what allow you to be sustainable, okay, and allow you to keep on going. Because it's when you push so hard and you do the most, that's when you burn out, and then you've got to take how long, 3-5 days to like get yourself back up. That's not how you want to live, okay? And you also want to allow yourself to be successful in what you are prioritizing or in what you have to do. So it's so important to be boundaried with yourself and also with other people. So making sure that not just because you do have space in your calendar that people can try and fill up your schedule with things. If you haven't got the capacity, it's a no, okay? So always be checking in with your capacity, always be checking in with your energy, always be checking in with like your battery levels, how full your cup is, okay? And then again, checking in with your speed as well. We're not going at 100 miles an hour. Even if you can, we're not going at 100 miles an hour. We have that culture of hustle, go, but no, we're changing that and we're going slow so that we can be sustainable. I really hope that this video came at the right time. I hope that you are going to start to implement some of these things. I'd love to know what you're going to try out or start doing or continue doing. Definitely let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.